Alrighty, so I've been measuring the hood because I'm thinking about going with a self-adhesive hood insulation by FatMat, which I think would look a lot better than that old dirty thing. So, I mean, it's great, but it never fit 100% right and all that. But the only issue is that the FatMat, I think it's not wide enough, the roll that you buy, which is actually pretty reasonable. But I can still pattern this edge here and make it work. The length is plenty, so I would even have a couple additional pieces of the material if I wanted to splice it in, something that I particularly don't care about. But that's, yet to be determined. The thing is, my hood, and probably yours if you're considering this, has these little retainers, which are kind of spring-loaded. This one broke because it's kind of rusty and I got it caught in one of my gloves and it just kind of fell apart. And these things, I already mentioned this, you probably already know all this, come with these little discs that snap in there, and they always kind of flop around. I don't care for them. But anyway, the self-adhesive stuff would be a lot better, provided it's good as adhesive, so it stays on. And there was this broken one. I think I'm also missing a couple here. It doesn't matter. There was this broken one here. It was covered by the insulation that I had there before. And I thought, well, let me experiment. I didn't film this, but it was no big deal. It's just some panel adhesive, I'm sure. And I went around it with the putty knife, hitting it with a hammer, and it just basically flew off. So that is no big deal. And if you want to go this route, stay tuned, because I'm going to order, I think, today, the FatMat insulation from Amazon. And I'll show you how to install it and how it looks. Okay, so here's some leftover wrapping paper I saved out of a couple of packages that I got from Amazon. And I did a very rough layout of the area that I want to cover with the liner. Now, you may be asking, well, why not go all the way to the edges? And sure, I'd love to do that, except this thing at its widest is 36 inches. I believe that is correct, 36. I think from here to here. And then it gets a little bit narrower, but by an inch or two. But anyway, the reason is the liner is, I think, only 34. So I'm, once I get it next, it should come in next week. I'm going to, lay it out and see what it looks like. And if possible, I will do a couple splices. I don't know if the sides or down the middle. I don't know just yet. I want to see how the material feels because I would like, if I have to splice it or anything like that, I want it to be almost invisible. But anyway, this is just a starting point, and again, it's just not perfect, but I'll get a little better once the material is in here. But this will act as a great template for cutting the pattern, and it'll go all the way down to the bottom, because I believe it's long enough, even with a little left over for maybe an inch into this area under here. So anyway, that is it for now. Well, guys, I applied the final coat to the hood. Again, this is not perfect, so there are a few little things that I left. I mean, I could have used, you know, Bondo and spent another week just messing around with this. But this is a driver. I want it to look good. That's why I did this. But again, it is a driver. So there's some kind of contamination there, but hey, it's not a perfect world either. So I'm gonna call it done. Otherwise, I'm never gonna be done. Now all I have to do is just let it cure for a few days. Next week, I hope, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, I should have the new liner, so I can get rid of this. I'm gonna save it. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with it. It's just a little dirty. But anyway, so that's my latest update. Looking pretty good. And I also went ahead and attached the grill here. And this, again, the weather stripping is looking really, really good. So there you have it. That's the whole process for installing the weather stripping. And again, just keep in mind to keep those two flat areas, a 90-degree angle there against the edge, and you'll be okay. Yeah, there's gonna be areas where it looks a little bit kind of off, but once this gets, you know, installed and compressed by this area and the sides here, I mean, it's just gonna be fine. There's not gonna be any issues. So that is done. Next, what I have to do is, well, before I install the whatchamacallit? God, I hate that. I forget. You know, the things. God. I'm gonna wait until I get the liner and get that one installed, and then I'm gonna put the latch. See, I remember now, the hood latches on. So it's coming along very nicely. Very pleased with it so far. Okay, so a couple of observations, and again, I'm no expert when it comes to this. Since I use the heat gun to, in an attempt, I should say, to soften the adhesive and then roll it on real good, I noticed that this thing absorbs heat really, really well. I mean, I wasn't going to town or anything with the heat gun because I don't want to damage this. Of course, I don't know the heat factor or anything like that. Not that I have a gauge or a way to measure that anyway. But it got pretty warm, and I was like, oh my God. So then, and then what was interesting, I stopped and I moved to another section, go right back to where it was really hot, and it's totally cool. So if that is supposed to work like that, it works really well. It dissipates the heat almost instantly. The other thing that I noticed as I was going over it with the with my heat gun is little wrinkles and stuff like that. They just kind of vanished. The bigger ones, I guess you could give them some time, and then they would probably stretch out, disappear, especially with the heat in the engine bay. But again, I have no experience with this material, and the little bit that I've seen here so far, so good. Yeah, my craftsmanship is not that great. Then again, when you're not going to be able really to see that once the hood is back here in the car. It's going to be like down here, so that's not really a concern. The upper edges, yeah, again, there's a couple little choppy little details. And again, I wanted to follow the contour a lot better. This is not doing that. I also made a cut here so I could slip this thing under the lip here, which, why not, right? But, you know, it's conforming to the shape of the hood, as you can see from this angle. And I have to say, it looks pretty darn good. Again, I hope that it's gonna stay in place, that it's not gonna give me any issues. But if this is gonna be the case, I mean, this thing is a winner chicken dinner, because this is looking really, really fine. And these wrinkles, again, you know, they give it a little character, if anything. And they may, you know, kind of fade away once the heat of the engine or the engine bay hits this area. May soften up, and I mean, they're pretty hard to tell, but anyway, yeah, it's a pain in the neck to install, and it seems to be on pretty well. So it'll be just from time to time, I guess I'll give you a quick update as to how it's performing. So far, it's looking good. It's looking really, really nice. Yeah, it looks mighty fine in my opinion. So anyway, so that's the latest, and I guess I'll just sign off here. Thank you for following, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care.